Okay, guys. As promised from the previous video, we are now going to back test this strategy. Perhaps make a couple of tweaks as it goes. Maybe what this will do is let us tweak it. Maybe it becomes viable, or you on your back testing you realize this was a stupid idea and we delete it. There's no way to know until we've actually tested it. So I said, well, you could either wait and use a demo account for testing, or you could test on a live account. But I wouldn't recommend that. So what we do is back test. So we're currently in a day. Let's go back April, February, December. Let's go just back. Well, let's actually go back in week view so we don't see the daily stuff. So we can do, we don't want to go back to 2012, 2013. Let's do 2016, 2018. Yeah, let's just go back here. And we going, so in TradingView you have a replay option. So when you say replay, it allows you to select where you want to go back in time to. So I'm going to say 2019 January. Let's start at the beginning of the year. And you'll see it's actually removed all the bars after that. So we are going to do this in replay mode. I'm going to switch down to the daily view. And now every time I click this, I can hit play and it just does it all itself as it moves, but every time I click this button, it is going to show me what was the actual candle for that day for the Euro British Pound on the 7th of Jan, the 8th of Jan. So this is how you can test, because this is actual facts and figures. So if I was in hour view and I said this and I hit play, it is giving me the hour. So that was midnight. One more. That was 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock. So this is how you can test with actual real data. So it's actual real price action for this at that date and time, as if you were doing it live. So you have no idea what's coming unless you had a photographic screen, photographic memory, and was able to detect where it might go based on the weekly when I selected. But I don't foresee that being a problem. So let's go to daily chart. And now we want to test our strategy over here. So basically when the lines crossed here, the theory I'm thinking with the strategy is, remember, when the 20 moving average crosses the 100 moving average, we're going to be in an uptrend. Okay? So in theory over here, I'm expecting it to go up more, solely based on this line is above this line. As you can see, not the most accurate, but let's say hypothetically. So in theory, if it got here, we would say because it's above, we're expecting it to go more. So I'm going to say over here it's hit price action, so it's got support and resistance that it's hitting here. Let's actually draw a line or block. So over here I can see there's quite a bit of support and resistance over here. So I'm going to say when it comes down to hit here, I'm going to do a buy order. So I'm going to go long. I'm going to do a long position. I'm going to do a long position, and I'm going to keep my stop loss below these. So actually, let's even do it. Protect it by the structure. So here, so even if it does pop down, in theory, this will then become support and resistance, and it should go back up. And I'm saying I would like to make a 1 to 2% risk to reward. So you'll see here it goes up as I drag, it goes up and down. So I want a 1 to 2% risk reward. So that is where I wanted to go. Did the planning. Now this 1% will be based on your account. So if it's a $100 account, this would be $1. If it was a 1,000 account, this loss would potentially be $10. And from here we then want to see what will actually happen. So we're going to push the play button. It would have triggered me, and you'll see I'm very happy that I moved it down, because here's the structure that is there. And let's go, stop loss. I have just lost $10 if I'm on $1 if I'm on an account. But doesn't mean my strategy is dead yet. So let's go and keep going. and so it's actually going down, so it's switching. Looks like it's going to be switching to a downwards trend. Wait for it to cross. So now the theory of this strategy is when it crosses, we can look for sells. Here would potentially be it's broken right through, come to here, so it's hit here. Do we want to do a sell order if it's basically start stabilizing here? Let's keep with the theory and say yes, I do. Let's move this away and do a sell now. So structure there. Actually, structure's not there. Structure would be there. Put my stop loss above that, and we're going to do a 1, let's say 2, 3, and we're going to go forward. It would have taken me straight out and then done. Okay, so we've lost another % there. So we're not looking too good. We've lost $2. Okay, so it's still below, and I've seen structure, so maybe I shouldn't have taken this as structure. Go up, and we'll see now it's creating its own structure here. So I'm still going to say it's going to go down. The lines are below. Let's do a short position here, and let's say now the structure is here. We're going to keep it here, keep this above that structure. 1, 2, 3. Yay! I made 3%. Okay, so I've lost one, made 3.5 on this one. For that one, there are other ways to make strategies, but let's just keep it. That is what I'm going for, a 1 to 3 risk reward. And then let's go forward. It is still below. It actually went back to structure. So in theory, if I was watching this, I could have potentially sold again here. Well, let's hope it goes back up again. So let's do another short position. And again, I'm solely doing shorts because this line is below this line. So nothing fancy there. Put that above that structure. Say 1, 2, 3. And we are going to go next. And lost a %. Just by the way, I would have made this go to break even in this particular trade, but loss. In this particular trade, I would have made it go to break even, so I wouldn't have actually lost the % here, but that's part of an actual strategy. We're just testing the theory now, and you'll see this line's about across. So we're now going to look for it to find structure up here. So potential structure would be here. Potential more likely structure is going to be here. Because remember, it moves in waves. It goes up and then down, up and then down, up and then down. So I'm going to say that this has probably become the next support. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a long position from here. I'm going to say I want it to come back down to here before it goes back up. And I'll put my stop loss below that structure over here. So it'll hopefully, if it does push through, have a bit of resistance there. And we'll move it here. And let's see what happens. Okay. It did not come back, so this could be going for much longer before it comes down, but the structure will probably have changed. You can see it's kind of building its own structure now. So one could have gone in here, because remember it's above. So that one didn't work. It's made its own structure. We're going to go and see. So let's say here's now structure. We wanted to come down to here. because the price movements here, I'm not going to make this stop loss all the way down here. I'm going to put it just below these ones. And we're currently at 2.64. So let's actually move that a little, take a bit more risk, move it a little bit higher so that this becomes a 3%. You could just make that your target higher. That's an option as well. As I say, we're just playing with a theory. And forward. And we would have made it. Okay. So I didn't actually have to buy it there. It did go up and come and retest the structure that it was created for here, and I made 3%. Okay. So we'll see currently I'm up 3%, 6%, but I'm down 3% because I've had 3 losses. So I am up a total of 3% so far for this new strategy that we're testing here. So it still goes up, It seems to be creating its own little structure over here, but I foresee it coming down a bit more. So how about we look for another entry at this structure? So let's do another long position from here. Put the target below that structure. See, one in theory could have just tried to stay in longer, book some profits, but again, we're just playing with the theory. You build your strategies as you go. And we're going to do that to say I wanted to come down to the middle being there. And then we'll do another buy order, stop loss below there. And let's see, we want another 1, 2, 3. And we go. Nope, loss. Boom. Okay. This one is a particular loss. It's already pushed through. It'll probably come down to this structure, or more likely even to this structure here for before it goes up, because it's pushed through. So I'm going to do another long position over here. 1, 2, 3. And we're protected by that structure, this. Okay, let's see if it will trigger. It triggered. Nope, loss. Okay, so we've got 2 losses, but currently we're only up 1%. And we're going to keep going. And it's going to cross for down. So it's crossed for down, so I can now look for shorts. So let's go for a short. If I had to do it, I'd probably pick this as its last structure. Above that one. 1, 2, 3. And go closer. Still in line with the structure. There we go. And let's forward. Hits. And I made 3%. Okay, so now I'm up 4%. And we're going to go forward, still below. I foresee it coming back, probably to hit this structure before we go again. So let's do another short. Short over here at this structure. Stop loss above. If we're going in for that structure, let's say above this structure. 1, 2, 3% risk reward. Let's see. See, it is making its own structure where it is now, as you can see. And I was not in that trade. In theory, I could have gone in over here to try and see. Let's see if we did it, but actually we didn't. So you must test say that. So this was a lost trade. We didn't do anything. It just literally just passed by. If one had taken this and rode it, one in theory could have made 3% 3.7 3.75 if you wrote it through to keep it going, but we were here. I think I've moved something. Sure, it was a 1, 2, 3 that we did. Okay, but yes, as you go through, but we missed it. Let's keep going and see. Okay, it's come back and hit this structure. So the question is, do we think it's going to start reverting to go back to an upward trend or not? But if we're just basing it on the rules of this theory, we are at structure now. We should do short position. We're going to short it over here at the structure that it is, high above that structure, and say 1, 2, 3. And gone. Nope, it's a loss. Again, this wouldn't have been a loss in my actual trading. I would have done something along break even. But to do this, and you literally rinse and repeat. I'm not going to continue going from this one, but on this particular test that we've done here for this period, we have made okay, losses: -1, -2, 3 minuses, 4, 5, 6 minuses, and we have had wins 1, 2, 3. So we are up 3% on this testing that we have done. So that's what I say, if you use a 1, 2, 3, once you've done the risk reward system to that, you only need to win 3 trades out of 10 to still be in positive. And that's the proof here. So even though I had those losses, I'm still currently up from that. So if I do out of the 10, if I get 5 or 6 or 4, but this is how you back test your strategy. I'm not going to say this is a very useful strategy. I do not want to make 3% from the 10th of Jan to the 2nd of March the following year. I might as well put my money in a bank. But this is how you test strategies, and we'll go to it. And yes, I hope this helps.